Happy New Year.
Pieces of paper are so small.
But they're really small that you can't write your whole story on it, right? Which is kind of good, because haven't you noticed that telling the story is really part of the problem? Now, for those of us who've wanted to release something in our life, often that story seems to come to us unbidden. It kind of arises in our consciousness, and we replay the whole thing, and then we feel really terrible about it. Let's say something's happened to us. But we have this habit of going through the whole, maybe not every single scene, but enough of the scenes to trigger an emotional response. I suppose somewhere along the line, this was good for our evolution, that we would remember stuff that hurt us, that bothered us, so we wouldn't go back and do it again. But there also needs to be a stop point. So in stopping the story, you accomplish two things. First, you don't make more trouble for yourself, but you also begin the process of releasing it. And to release it, you need to feel it. And this is not a bad thing. It just feels bad. If you are strong in your willingness to let it go, it will feel bad, for sure. Awful, sometimes. But it actually, if you could become a bit more curious, it becomes awful only in some places in your body or in some place in your mind. It's not your whole of you. It just feels awful. And it feels awful because we really, in part, because we don't know how to deal with those emotions. And so rather than handling them, we do everything we can to avoid them, and therefore we don't complete the process. The process of releasing something using this technique, the process of releasing it is really the process of feeling it without the story. And without the story is the critical thing. But even some of your worst experiences can be consumed by feeling them. And it may take a week or two. It may take longer than that. It may take a while. But as you feel it and do not tell the story, you stop adding fuel to the flame of your suffering. And you begin to be free. Another thing we have done here often is this ho'oponopono. Now, ho'oponopono comes from a unitive consciousness way of thinking, as opposed to a dualistic way. To do ho'oponopono, you shift your consciousness from dualism to unitive consciousness. One thing. Start with the idea that there is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good. Start with that idea. And then move to this profound way of seeing the world. The profound way of seeing the world is that anything that is in my consciousness is mine. Mine. I should own at least the experience of it. And since I am part of the whole world, I own it as the world. And we think of events as discrete things that happen out there that affect us, but no, it is we're in this together. And when the one presence, does something, we may experience it in the body as emotions or as sensations. However, it's one whole field of consciousness. And what we're asking to do when we ask to release this or to change it or to modify it is that we ask that whatever is causing that be released, that it be taken out. Our job in praying, ho'oponopono, is to release it, to get rid of it. Now, the words that have come down to us for this prayer might sound awkward, but they actually fit the way it feels. And the words there are 4 sentences, and the first one is, I'm sorry. I feel it, is what that means. I feel it. I have the experience of it. I'm sorry. Boom, it's in me. I can tell that. It's affected me. And the next one is, please forgive me. Please forgive me means take the virus out. Please release me. Once you've done that, what you're hoping for is a sense of release, that something pops out, or a click happens, or a softening, or an awakening, or something. And then what would come next? I thank you. Thank you. Obvious. I feel better. I'm released. The world is released. I'm releasing the world. And this is the beginning of that state of gratitude that Anna was mentioning. You're grateful. And then what would come next? A sense of love, of union with all that is. No need to protect, no fear, just this expanded state. Love. And so the next words are, I love. Now we're going to use the burning roll, which is the third way. In the burning bowl, it's about intention. It's really about intention. So you only have a little scrap of paper, and you have a pen, hopefully, and if you need anything, just raise your hand, and we'll find somebody to give you what you need. But this idea is that you write it down, and you set an intention to get rid of it. And you ask that which is more capable than you're feeling at the moment, of which you are still a part, to release it from you. And contemplate your intent to let it go. Contemplate it. And see if you can feel that shift coming. And if you have felt it and it feels complete, then don't come back to it. Do not come back to it. Let it go. Because you've done the work. You've invited that which is everything to join you in this, so that you can be free of it.